Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Today we're tackling a story that really highlights the human side of justice and leadership, even in the face of some pretty heavy topics. We're talking about the unexpected passing of Jessica D. Aber, who, until very recently, was the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia.
Yeah, big news, especially in legal circles. And 43 is young, way too young, especially when you think about the kind of responsibility that comes with a role like that. U.S. Attorney.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Today we're tackling a story that really highlights the human side of justice and leadership, even in the face of some pretty heavy topics. We're talking about the unexpected passing of Jessica D. Aber, who, until very recently, was the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia.
Yeah, big news, especially in legal circles. And 43 is young, way too young, especially when you think about the kind of responsibility that comes with a role like that. U.S. Attorney, for those who might not know, it's basically the top federal prosecutor for a specific area.
Yeah.
And the Eastern District of Virginia, well, that's not just any district.
Right. Definitely not your average district. Given its location right near the Pentagon and the CIA, the EDVA often finds itself dealing with cases that have massive national security implications.
Exactly. So you're talking about terrorism, espionage, high-level corruption, the works. So the person in that U.S. Attorney role, they've got a lot on their plate.
And Aber had only just stepped down from that position a couple of months ago in January. Then, this past Saturday, March 22nd, she was found at her home in Alexandria.
Sad news. What do we know about the circumstances?
Well, the initial reports say that the Alexandria Police Department responded to a call at her residence on Beverley Drive around 19:18 a.m. They confirmed her death at the scene, and right now, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of Virginia is investigating the cause and manner of death.
So still a lot of unknowns there. But it's standard procedure, right, to have a thorough investigation in these situations.
Absolutely. And so far, the authorities have said that there's no indication of foul play. Of course, the investigation is ongoing, but that's an important detail to keep in mind.
It is. While we wait for more information, we can certainly take a look at her career. It's quite impressive, actually, especially considering she was only 43. She was originally born in California back in 1981, but her family moved to Virginia, and she really made it her home.
Oh yeah, Virginia through and through. She graduated from the University of Richmond in 2003 and then went on to William and Mary Law School, got her law degree there in 2006. Seems like she knew what she wanted to do pretty early on.
Yeah, a clear path. And after law school, she actually started her career right where she ended up leading at the EDVA. Joined as an assistant U.S. attorney in 2009.
And she didn't waste any time getting involved in some pretty big cases, focused on financial fraud and violent crime early on.
Those are some tough areas to specialize in. You're talking about complex financial schemes, often with a lot of moving parts, sometimes international. It takes a sharp mind and a lot of dedication to really make headway in those kinds of cases.
Absolutely. And then she got involved in a case that really put her in the spotlight, the prosecution of former Virginia Governor Robert F. McDonnell back in 2014.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Huge political case. And while the conviction was later overturned by the Supreme Court, her role in the initial prosecution really showed that she wasn't afraid to take on tough, even politically sensitive cases.
Right. She was committed to upholding the law, regardless of who is involved. That's got to be a lot of pressure, going up against someone so powerful, especially relatively early in your career. By the way, if you're finding this deep dive interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. It really helps us out.
It does. Now, after that McDonnell case, she actually spent some time at the national level at the Department of Justice from 2015 to 2016.
Yeah, good point. She was counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for the criminal division there. So that gave her a whole different perspective on the justice system, seeing things from the DOJ's side.
Exactly. And then she came back to the Eastern District and became the Deputy Chief of the Criminal Division. That's a pretty significant role, a lot of responsibility. Clearly, she was on the rise.
No doubt about it. And all of that experience led to her appointment as the U.S. Attorney by President Biden in 2021.
Big moment. And to get unanimous confirmation by the Senate. In this day and age,
yeah,
that says a lot about her reputation and the respect she had on both sides of the aisle.
Totally. It's not easy to get that kind of bipartisan support these days, but she clearly earned it. And it's worth noting, that she was one of the few women to ever hold that position in the Eastern District. It's a historically significant office. So she was really breaking barriers.
Absolutely. And she was very vocal about her commitment to restoring and maintaining public trust in the justice system. That's so important, especially these days.
It is, and her actions backed up her words. Under her leadership, the EDVA secured some really significant convictions, like the one against Siemens Energy Inc. for corporate espionage in 2024.
Wow, that's a big one. And not just about punishing wrongdoing. Cases like that send a message, show that they're serious about protecting national security and economic interests. These cases have global implications.
They do, and it wasn't all just about high-profile corporate crime either. She was also deeply involved with Ceasefire Virginia, a community initiative aimed at reducing gun violence.
Right, a more community-focused approach. Attorney General Myers actually specifically mentioned that in his statement about her passing. Credited Ceasefire Virginia with saving countless lives. It shows a different side of her commitment to justice, one that goes beyond the courtroom.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that there are many ways to make a difference in the justice system, so we've got a lot to unpack here, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing leaders who are trying to bridge the gap between law enforcement and these kinds of community initiatives? Let us know in the comments below.
Great question. It's a complex issue. And speaking of leadership, the reactions to her death from her colleagues have been really powerful.
They have. Eric S. Siebert, who's now the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District, said that the office is deeply grieving. He called her an unmatched leader, mentor, and prosecutor.
Yeah, I saw that. And he also said that she was simply irreplaceable as a person. Those are strong words, especially coming from someone who's now in her position.
Definitely heartfelt. And Attorney General Myers also publicly acknowledged her service and her work with Ceasefire Virginia. Even former acting U.S. Attorney Raj Parekh shared a story about her going above and beyond to support her team during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That's a great anecdote. It speaks to her character, her dedication, even in the face of really difficult circumstances. Now, of course, with news like this, especially involving someone in such a high-profile position, there's bound to be speculation. And we've seen some of that online, particularly on X.
Yeah, the internet can be a wild place sometimes. But it's so important to remember that there's no credible evidence to support any of that speculation right now.
Right. The official investigation is still going on. We have to rely on the facts that come out of that process and respect the work that the authorities are doing. And hey, if you're enjoying this conversation and finding it informative, don't forget to share this deep dive with your friends and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes.
Absolutely. Now, let's recap some of the key takeaways from this deep dive. Firstly, Jessica Aber had a really impressive career in public service. She led a federal prosecutor's office that handles incredibly sensitive national security and corruption cases. Her work, especially in the Eastern District of Virginia, had a huge impact.
And secondly, her passing was sudden, at a relatively young age, and only a couple of months after she stepped down from her position. While the timing might raise questions, it's crucial to remember that the investigation is still ongoing, and there's been no indication of foul play so far.
This whole situation really prompts us to think about the dedication and the pressures faced by people in these high-profile roles within our justice system.
It does. Jessica Aber dedicated her life to public service, and her loss is a big one for the legal community and for Virginia. To sum it up, we've discussed the unexpected passing of Jessica Aber, her distinguished career within the EDVA, the ongoing investigation, and the reactions from those who knew and worked with her. We've also emphasized the importance of waiting for official information before jumping to conclusions.
Exactly. And all of this leads us to a final thought for you to consider. How does the sudden loss of a dedicated public servant like Jessica Aber impact our understanding of leadership and the demands of these high-pressure roles in our justice system? It's something to really ponder, to think about the complexities and the human element behind the headlines.
It is. It's a reminder of the impact that individuals can have and the void that's left when they're gone.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking the tough questions.
Absolutely. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the stories that matter. See you next time.